My grandpa used to be the strongest person I knew, literally. As a little girl, I remember rushing up to him for one of his famous bear hugs. He hugged me so hard my ribs felt as they were about to break. 12 short years later, and my dad is cutting up his food for him at dinner because the staggering strength my grandfather once had has been drained to the point where he can't hold a fork and knife. What happened to my grandpa, you might wonder? Football. My grandpa was a defensive safety for the University of Detroit football team in 1950. Back before football coaches recognized head injuries and players wore flimsy leather helmets, my grandpa took hit after hit protecting a ball. There is no telling the amount of unnecessary concussions he experienced for a piece of pigskin, but looking at the way Parkinson's has destroyed his body, it's safe to say he received a tad too many. So I know what you're going to say. Now football players are required to wear big protective pads and better helmets. There are more regulations now than there were in 1950. Be that as it may, these things do not stop players from experiencing traumatic brain damage. In a study where NFL players' brains were scanned, 113 of 116 players suffered brain damage. Don't get me wrong, I love football as much as the next person. I'm a Michigan fan for heaven's sakes. But these big, tough men are struggling severely behind closed doors. There is more going on than we know as spectacles of the sport. It's been proven that these football players have a higher incidence of depression, suicide, and other brain problems like Parkinson's. 30% of players in the study reported severe depression. That is 4 times the rate of depression among average Americans. I believe that football is dangerous. Throughout the past century, it has grown to be one of the most loved American pastimes, but these players are sacrificing far too much for a sport. I know my grandpa would give anything, even his days playing ball for the University of Detroit, to walk again and be rid of his physical limitations. If I could stop one person from making the same mistake, I know that would make him happy. This I believe.